I'd like to take a moment to remind you, or maybe introduce you, to the Thomas Jones exhibition we have on the library's website. Everything on this site is in the library's collection. Now you can find it off the library's main web page and under Digital Mirror. Go into Digital Mirror, and then to your left here you'll find an exhibitions. And hopefully Thomas Jones Pencerrig will come up under that list. And here we are. An option to go into it in Welsh or in English. And here we are. Right, this exhibition gives you Thomas Jones's background, as you can see here. His early life, training as an artist, the mature artist, and the country gentleman. Now, Jones left Richard Wilson's care in 1765 and was elected a Fellow of the Society of Artists soon afterwards. His career rapidly accelerated, and he had a prospect of a glittering future. By the late 1760s, Thomas Jones was establishing himself as a fashionable, though slightly old-fashioned, painter of country house portraits and Italianate landscapes. Jones based his practice in London, moving out to the country on commissions or visits. His most significant Welsh visit of his career was in 1768, when he took Sir Joshua Reynolds' chief studio assistant, Giuseppe Marchi, to mid-Wales. Here, Marchi painted the series of Jones's family portraits, and Thomas Jones worked, we presume, in oil on the landscape sketches for which he has become famous. Jones travelled to Italy in 1776 and returned to London in 1783 with a wife and 2 children. He attempted to revive his practice, but unfortunately, he received few commissions. After the death of his elder brother, Thomas Jones moved back to Wales in 1789 to manage the family estate. He graphically describes in his memoirs how he saw Pencerrig as domestic retirement, where he painted merely for his own pleasure. Thomas Jones spent his last years consolidating his estate by planting trees, experimenting with crops, assisting his staff, and working for the community as High Sheriff. He died on the 29th of April 1803 and was buried in the family vault at Cae Bach Chapel, Llandrindod, Wales. So you get all that background in this section of the exhibition. If we click on the pictures, and it gives you right at the top here, Havard Sketchbook, 6 views, and the watercolours we have here in the collection. Clicking on the Havard Sketchbook gives you a bit of background. It contains about 70 drawings, all in pencil. Jones visited Havard during 1786. The volume also includes drawings of Radnorshire and a group of drawings taken at Pencerrig in 1792. And you can flick page by page through this drawing volume. Let's pick a page like that, and you can zoom in to see the detail. Hopefully, just like that. And it'll take you page by page through the volume. If we click on the watercolours, the same will happen. We'll take you through the watercolours. I'm skipping the 6 views for an obvious reason you'll see later on. So the watercolours, click on the magic eye there, and there'll be a picture appearing in front of you. Again, zoom in. Now there's 6 watercolours here. They're all views of Radnorshire, and they're taken during 1794 and 1995. These were bequeathed to the library in the year 2000 by the late Mrs. Jane Evan Thomas. And if we go right to the bottom here, there's the island of Capri, which looks really nice on a January day in Aberystwyth, the blue sea. And this was gifted to the library in 1988. The manuscript section. Again, we've got an Italian account book, the memoirs, and the Daybook. Thomas Jones left written as well as visual material. Now, the Italian account book, again, we'll click on it and it'll show you a page-by-page version. It's written in Italian mostly, and it, yeah. There, I don't know how good your Italian is. There. It's got accounts, notes, and sketches in the account book here. And you get things like notes on prices of various items. You also get relative values of the Neapolitan, Roman, and English currencies. I wonder what he would have said about the Eurozone and all those troubles today. Okay, that's the manuscript there. The memoirs, well, these are really fascinating reading. You've got the original here, page by page. It's probably, oh, there we are. So it's beautifully done. But if you want to read the memoir a bit easier, there's a transcription available here as well, which makes it much easier to read. Now, the memoirs recount in detail his family history, his early life, his life in London, France, and especially in Italy. Now, these memoirs are quite amusing to read, but sometimes they're quite uneasy as well, because, for example, Jones recalls his school days and of a fight, believe it or not, he had between him and another boy. And he writes, "After a few well-directed strokes that deluged my opponent in his own blood, on which he gave up, I was conducted off the field of battle in triumph. The master never took any notice of such things, because he had the exclusive privilege of thrashing us all indiscriminately. He did not care how much we thrashed one another. Nice school." And these memoirs, you'll find that Jones was a gregarious socialite, especially in London, and he enjoyed the company of a wide variety of people. So definitely worth a read. And finally, the Daybook. And this is a Daybook from his Pencerrig time, 1788 to 97. And it relates to the Pencerrig estate, recording details of payments received for rents, tithes, and farm produce, and of payments made to servants and craftsmen. It also includes domestic expenditure, including food, drink, clothing, newspapers, and magazines. Again, you just click on that on the eye. So please have a look at this exhibition. It's a good resource. I mentioned Jones left for Italy in 1776. It was just before this, in about 1774-75, when Jones undertook his only publishing project. This was his 6 Views in South Wales. Now, his 6 Views in South Wales is a rare and curious book of prints. It was published by subscription and includes fine, well-engraved prints of Welsh landscape with short descriptions of the places written, we presume, by Thomas Jones himself. This work is rare, being only 2 copies here at the National Library. None known in any other public collection, but probably some still exist in the original subscribers' families. It is a curious volume, firstly because Thomas Jones omitted any reference to its existence in his memoirs, account book, or papers.